Okay, I received this picture from my online class. So there is two things about when you're drawing something realistic, which is not using line to draw the shape, is using edge to show the shape. So I felt like I needed to tell you guys the reason, and you understand the reason before I keep saying, okay, edges have soft edge, hard edge, and lost edge, and you don't understand why have those edges, okay? So drawing is not all for your feelings. It has lots of reason behind. So I want you understand reason before you look. Okay, both are super important. Why and how to look. Okay, why is there has lost and soft and hard edge, and how you're going to look at. If you know why, you have a intentionally. If you know the reason, if you know the reason behind it, you probably more intentional. You have an intention to look at it rather than you just look at it. You don't know, you don't even know what are you looking at it. You don't know where to look at it, right? So I got to tell you guys about the reason behind it. You have to understand the reason. Then I think if you understand the reason behind, I don't think you will make lots of mistake, because you will intentionally tell you to look at it, and because you know the reason, right? You know the reason behind. You intentionally look at, oh, is that dark, or is that light, or is that faded, or is that clear, right? Okay, now let's talking about the reason, the edge about the reason. Okay, so what I mean about edge, okay, here, if you have a line here, that's not edge, sorry, that's lines, right? But in real life, our face not made by lines, but how are you going to see the shape, right? By saying the shape is the value, different value, the edge of between each value, you see the shape. How you see the shape of here? Because the background is lighter, and the face is darker. That's how you see the edge here, right? And how you see the edge of eyebrow, because the eyebrow is dark and the forehead is light. That's how you see the shape. It doesn't made by a line, right? By made different value, because the eyebrow is a darker value. This is a lighter value, right? And nose here, see? Dark and light, you see that edge, right? Dark light, you see that edge. That's edge. Okay, different than lines. Now, with edge, as you know, is edge made by values, right? So if you have a big contrast, dark and light, you will see a clear edge, which means the edge is very clear, right? You see, that's a clear edge, right? And that's kind of clear edge. That's a clear edge because the dark and light contrast, have more contrast. You see more clear edge. But value, there's big contrast, dark and light, but they have a medium contrast. and this edge is like this, the two values is pretty close, then the edge become very soft. See that? That's softed edge, right? That edge is kind of soft, right? Then because the value is so close, so you don't see that much of contrast. So the edge is, the shape is kind of blurry because, the two value is so close and you see a softed edge. Then there is a losted edge. Like two values is like exactly the same value and you can't even see the edge. This part is kind of like that. Like it's so close. So the edge lost it. But when you're drawing it, and if you just fade it, you don't think like when you look, oh, the nose missing a part. No, the nose still there, right? So that's the reason, okay? Understand the reason, because the values contrast, that's the reason. Big contrast, clear edge, kind of same contrast, and soft edge, and same value, lost edge. With that in mind, to looking at the value, and then you're not going to draw something like this. Got it? Because you are not using line to draw the shape, you using values to draw the shape. Okay? So that's first thing. Edges. This, when you're doing three-dimensional thing, right? You're not using line to do it. You use shadow to build a three-dimensional shape. And first edges, second value. Okay? What I mean by value, you have to put the correct order for the value. The dark, the second, the third, all the value have to be on the correct shade. Okay? The darkest, like if I say, okay, this, that probably is the darkest. Then rest of it, they have their own value. Then you have to put it in the correct order. You can't mess up, like you can't make that part too dark, right? If you looking at it, if I tell you, I say, okay, look this part. What's wrong with that? And then you're looking at it, you say, oh, that's too dark. Everyone can see it. If you have if you have a thing to compare it, if I give you this, I say, oh, look at this. What's wrong with that? You say, okay, that's too dark. Yeah, that's too dark. And why in the beginning you can't not say that? Because you didn't look. Because you say, oh, that's dark. I'm just put that dark. So what make the value in the correct order, right? How you make from 1 to 10, from darkest to lightest, how you make in the correct order, you have to compare with other values. If you drawing 1, you only look at 1, drawing 2, only look at 2, drawing 3, only look at 3, you probably drawing all the same value, or you mess up with the order, right? So the only way you get the value correct is comparing. Like when you finish the eyebrow, when you're drawing this, you're looking at the eyebrow. You say, okay, how dark should I do that? How dark should I do that? If you don't looking at the eyebrow, you can do this as dark as you want, right? Because you don't have anything to compare with. So when how you doing the value correct? Constantly compare, look around, which is don't always put your face too close to the paper. Sit back, looking at the whole thing. Lots of times squeeze your eyes to say, yeah. If you squeeze your eyes to look at this two parts, you will say this is jump out so much that you can't see much, right? So squeeze your eyes is the best way to look at the whole thing, the whole picture. See, is some part is too dark, some part is too light, sometimes some part is too light. When you squeeze your eyes, that part jumps out too. So either too dark or too light, it would jump out, you know? Okay, now you know the reason, okay? Now you know the reason, and so look how I correct this picture, right? I'm going to just get that part faded. It's good about and that part is a little bit darker. I'm just looking at that, right? Compare the value. I need to and this part faded. I'm going to talk about how to do the hair, okay? Since I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you how to do the hair. Okay, think about the hair, right? The hair in the edge of the hair. Look this eyebrow. Look. So that part is not sharp, okay? If you draw that part very sharp, it looks like the eyebrow tattooed on the face. Look, it's not sharp. If I blow up, that's blurred, right? It has a reason behind it, right? Anything has a reason behind it. Because think about it. Those are little hair, little bit hair right here. And this not like bunch of hair very sharp, clearly grow there. They are a little bit random, right? The hair grows there. Then you can see a very clear eyebrow, but it definitely is going to be blurry, right? Because this like a little bit fuzzy hair grow there. Same as the hair. Exactly same as the hair. Never draw the hair next to the head very sharp, because those are those little fuzzy hair next to your face. If you're looking at the mirror, you can see, of course you can see a very clear line, but in the reality, it's fuzzy, right? So don't do your eyebrow very sharp or your hair very sharp. You think about the reason behind it, because those are a little bit of fuzzy hair around it. So just fade it. Just fade that part. Okay, faded. Same as here. Say those are faded. You still see the shape, right? The shape didn't not gone. The shape definitely didn't gone, but looks more real, right? Looks so still see the shape. Same as the eyebrow. Look, if I'm blurring the side, you still see the eyebrow. You don't see a missing eyebrow or something, right? See, blurry it. You know why I blur it? You know why? Because the eyebrow is not pinned on the face, right? It's a little bit strength of little fuzzy hair there, right? See, still has eyebrow, right? Doesn't missing anything. Very important, same as the hair on the face. Same. Okay. And the dark and the light of the beard follows the shape of the face. You know, the face goes down, they get dark. The up and get light, goes down, get dark, right? Understand the meaning behind it. And the mouse. See that part? Faded. Faded. Know why faded? I already told you why, right? Already told you why the faded. Because it's value. Not the value made by what? By shadows, right? Shadow always changes. Shadow's value always changes. Even in the same surface, because even in one surface they have reflection, they have all the things around it. Even in one plant, they always changes. See, I'm just blurring it. You know, this guy's face still there, right? Didn't missing any part. And has okay, now make that value correct. The value is too dark. Oops. Too different. Right. Okay, now I'm going to put, see, I'm just fading the edges, right? Not fixing any of the shape. I'm just make the value correct and faded the edges to make a big difference. Even the even when I'm doing the double eyelid, you think about it, double eyelid is round shape. I will never do a double eyelid. Or of course, a double eyelid is a skinny shadow. Okay, skinny shadow, a line is totally different. You can see how I do this from dark, light, because this comes up, right, and dark. So if you just draw a line here, they're not going to look three-dimensional, because that part should be a little lighter, because that part going up, right? It's a sphere. See, it's a reason. It has a reason behind it. So all those things you're looking at it is the value. It's a shadow. What's value? It's shadow, right? Shadow always changes. Okay, that's about it. So even here, see how I break up that? Because look, the value is so close, the ledger lost it, right? Yeah, understand it. So if you understand it, you have you're intentional to looking at those things. You will see it. You will see it. Everybody can see it. It just if you don't understand it, it's hard for you to. You don't know where to look, right? It's not your fault. Okay. Let's see. Put it next. Okay, put this next to each other. Now you can see the difference, right? Okay, I'm going to send it back to you.